Hey, what's up, everybody? It's byscreenside, and I have a new speed build for you today. Felt like a good day for a speed build. And I wanted to build something kind of cutesy pants. I have been doing a lot of like big houses and stuff lately, so I was in the mood to build something small, something cute, and I called this one Aunt Betsy's house. I don't have an Aunt Betsy, full disclosure. It just seemed like that kind of a house. The way it is, two beds, two baths, quite petite. And it has sort of like a room that I imagine, like the second bedroom, I imagine being like a room where the grandkids would stay when they came to visit, or something along those lines. It's very cluttered, has a lot of personality. It looks like somebody has lived there who's accumulated a lot of stuff. And so I think this house is a really cute house for a small family. Especially again, if you are into playing any sort of like elderly Sims, um, which every once in a while I'll build something that has to me like kind of the look of it should belong to like an elderly couple or something along those lines. And um, the last time I did something like that, I asked if anybody liked to sim elderly couples, and I didn't get any. I don't think anybody said that they like to sim older couples on that video. So I'm gonna ask again. Anybody out there likes to is like enjoys simming like with elderly sims? That would be interesting to know. Like I have played with elderly sims that I raised, quote unquote raised, from like a younger sim on, lots of occasions, but I've never just created an elderly sim just like from the beginning. So that would be interesting to know if you guys are into doing that. Um, I've got I have a story today that I wanted to share with you guys. Um, it I was telling my boyfriend this story the other day, and I was really surprised that I had never told him this one before. And I thought, oh, this would be a funny story to share um, on the YouTubes because I don't know. It's one of those stories where at the time it wasn't that funny, but now that I look back on it, it's actually kind of hilarious. Um, so yeah, we're gonna have story time today. Uh, and so if you hate hearing other people's stories, then mute it and put on like your favorite song or something. But yeah, so this story actually it's sort of about my first boyfriend, like my first capital SRS serious like emoji with the hearts for the eyes boyfriend, who I dated in high school for a little while. Um, well, actually, no, I should back up just a little. There's a little bit of backstory that's relevant here. Um, when I was in grade school, like younger school, for those of you who aren't in the US and aren't familiar with our like school terminology, like when I was in about third grade, which would have put me about like 7 or 8, I was an honor student then, and they had like this after school, not even after school, like a during school program where they would take like the honor students from all the area like local schools. I can't remember what this program was called to save my life. But they would invite you to like another school, another one of the local schools, all these different kids, and have advanced classes or whatever. I don't know what they did because I didn't do it because I was really young, and the whole prospect of being told like just hey, you want to get on a bus and go to a different school for a little while, like I remember being like, I don't want to go, like no, I'm scared. um And then later, as I got older, I didn't get invited back because I was an impressively average student when I was in high school, and it was an honors thing. So I wish my parents had forced me to do it because all my friends were doing it when I was in high school, but that had been doing it forever, but I was too much of a wimp to accept the opportunity whenever it came up when I was younger. But the reason that that's important to the story is because a lot of my friends happened to know my boyfriend. We'll call him Joe because that was his name. It's a general enough name where I can use his real name. But other characters in the story, I might have to change their names. But yes, his name was Joe, and oh, I've lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so my friends, my friends that went to the same school as I did, they all knew him from like this after school honor thing. But I didn't know him. So that's how we actually wound up meeting, was through a mutual friend. He contacted me online, and I guess we had met somewhere before, but I didn't really remember. And then, we started chatting online. He was like, "Do you remember me from da 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 da?" And I was like, sorry." Um, but we wound up chatting and talking, and we did wind up, after a few weeks of like talking and hanging out, of course, we started dating, whatever. And I really liked him and everything. And so, um, you know, word sort of got around as it does when you're in high school that he and I were dating. And um, it started to just come up, I don't know, just one day at lunch. A couple of my friends were like, "Oh, you're dating Joe? Oh, have you met his brother yet?" And I was like, "No, I haven't actually had the chance to meet his family yet." And so that like all my friends from this after school program knew Joe and his brother. We'll call him Russ. Be- like short for Russell. We'll call him Russ. So all my friends knew Joe and Russ from this after school program, and they were like, "Oh yeah, he's really annoying." And I was like, "What?" And yeah, not the guy I was dating, his brother. Okay. So they were all like, "Yeah, he's really super annoying. I can't wait till you meet him. It's gonna be hilarious." And I was just kind of like, I mean, at first, you take that with a grain of salt, but then all of my friends started telling me this. Even my friend Kelly, who never said a bad word about anybody ever, um, when I asked her about it, because she had known she was in that program as well, she was just kind of like, "Oh yeah, it's true. He really is. He's really annoying." I was like, "Oh, that's really weird." But I'm gonna keep an open mind. It's my boyfriend's brother. I'm just gonna go and meet him and see what I think. Just not think about what everybody else says. So, on the day that I did finally get to meet his family, I met his brother, and I thought, I didn't, like, I thought he was all right. Like, I thought he was okay. I could understand where it was that all of our mutual friends thought he was annoying. Like, I could see it. He was kind of a spaz, and he was kind of like that, had that thing where no matter like what topic you're talking about, he knows more about it than you do, like that kind of a thing. So I understood it, like I got it. Um, but still, I thought he was funny and I thought he was all right. Like he wasn't nearly as bad as what everybody was making him out to be, in my opinion. And so I said, like when my friends asked me about it, I was like, "What? I liked him. I thought he was all right." And they were just kind of like, "Uh-huh, okay." Uh, but I was like, "No, really, like he's nice and da da da." Da." So, um, and I as I had like dated Joe like longer and longer, like we would just be hanging out with people that I didn't know previously, maybe because like I said, he went to a different school than I did. So, we had some mutual friends, but there were also a lot of people that I met under other like that I didn't know before. Um, and so, but it was just a really common thing that people would talk about his brother in a negative light. And there were times that like we would all be hanging out with friends or whatever, and I could see that it was upsetting Joe. And so I would say like, "Hey guys, knock it off. He's all right. He's not that bad. Da 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 da." That's my, by the way, that's my blah 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 or yada yada yada. It's da 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 da. I don't know, and so on and so forth, or what have you. Um, but just like I remember one time we were, in it was just the two of us hanging out, and he said, "I really appreciate the way that you stick up for my brother when everybody else is giving him a hard time." And I just wanted to let you know that really means a lot to me that you stand up for him all the time. And I was like, oh, that's all right, that's cool. And well, I said I could see why other people like didn't necessarily like him. Um, I like at the same time I really genuinely did like him. So I wasn't just sticking up for him because like I could see that it was bothering the my boyfriend at the time, but because like I genuinely didn't think that he was like that bad of a guy. So um a few like we dated for a few months, and then up out of nowhere, of course, as in dramatic high school fashion, he broke up with me. He dumped me. It's been a long time, but yeah, um he just like yeah kind of up and broke up with me out of nowhere. And so whenever um like I don't know about you guys, but you know that there's like a whole like period like after a breakup of kind of like Facebook stalking or whatever, and especially like when that person breaks up with you. And so anytime I would run into like a mutual friend of ours, I would kind of start like like pumping them for information, like, have you heard or do you hear anything from him or whatever. And I was at, I don't remember what it was. It was something, it was like an afternoon, like, I think it was maybe like July 4th celebration, or maybe it was Memorial Day, something like that. Um, but I ran into a friend of ours that I hadn't seen since the breakup. And so I asked her, like, did you hear we broke up? Yeah, well, whatever. And so she was like, yeah, Russ told me. And so I was like, what did he say? And she just kind of like looked down at her shoes, and I was like, then I started like be like, what? And she said, well, he said that he was happy that you guys broke up because you were so annoying. Yeah. Pause for dramatic effect. Can you believe that? Can you believe that guy? Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Are you even serious? Can you believe that happened? That is 100% real, true story. Everyone, everyone said he was annoying and I defended him, and he thought I was the annoying one. Like it cracks me up now because could that like be a more perfect like bookend moment to that relationship? It wasn't even about like the guy I was dating. It was like fully about his brother. But yeah, I was talking to my boyfriend about it because his boyfriend, la, la, his brother lives kind of far away, and I haven't we've been together a long time, but I still haven't had the opportunity to meet a lot of his family because they live so far away. And I was like, well, traditionally brothers don't always like me very much. So, and he was like, what are you talking about? And so that's how that story came up. But yeah, I just thought that was too funny. It's just one of those things. I don't want to say or imply by telling that story that, it's not a good thing to stick up for other people, but it can come back to bite you in the rear end at times. So, oh my goodness. Can you believe that guy? Can you believe that guy? Ugh, you guys. Anyway, so yes, this kitchen, about the kitchen or about the house in general. I actually I think this kitchen turned out pretty cute. I like it. I was very much like wanting to make it like a cluttered, uh, grandma-y or auntie type kitchen. I think everybody has that like aunt or like relative that feeds you until you want to burst, and that's how, like how I imagine the auntie who has this kitchen would be. I actually did have that aunt. I had an my she was a great aunt though, so she passed away, but her name was Aunt Eileen, and she was the sort who made like everything she cooked like she made from scratch. I mean, she like made her own pickles, and they were awesome. I wish that I would totally kill for like another shot at one of those pickles, but I loved them when I was a kid. I love pickles in general. I know that's a somewhat controversial opinion because not everybody's a huge fan of pickles, but I like them, and she made the best ones. They were kind of sweet, but not like as sweet as pickles that you buy, like the bread and butter pickles, the sort of like sweeter pickles that you can buy. But yeah, that my Aunt Eileen would be like the sort, like she's the sort where she would just get like we would just get done eating and she would be coming into the room with like another tray of snacks like you can't eat up, you're too thin. Like oh, I love that. I am always pro somebody who wants to feed me. I am a very big fan of that. So, I like whoever the sim is that lives in the house. I like her and I want to go visit her because she probably makes amazing pickles. So yeah. She also like I mean, I think it came from like she was totally brought up on a farm, and she was the closest relative that I had that was like she and her husband didn't really strictly have a farm, but they did have like a really like big piece of land, and they had like stables and a horse and everything. And so that was cool. I would Sims 4 pets, you guys. When's that gonna happen? Apparently, pretty soon, according to some of the rumors and what was found in the game files. And I'm never going to question what comes in the game or what's in the game files again because just before they announced vampires, I made a video where I was like, I'm not convinced that we're actually getting vampires next, just because it was in the game files. And then of course, like we turn around and get vampires like announced like within about a week or so, and I was like, oh, okay, well, never mind. Yeah, I mean, I know that pets thing like came up out of nowhere, but it was what made me think of it was thinking about my aunt's horse. So, in case you didn't n- notice or figure out why I jumped from topic to topic that quickly, and I don't blame you if you didn't because I like was totally babbling. But yeah, like thinking about the horse made me think about pets, and yeah, I I'm looking forward to pets, but at the same time, um, when I played the pets in The Sims 3, I always felt like once I had maxed out their like skills and things like that, then I kind of lost interest in them. And then they just because like I don't know. I mean, maybe if I um get more creative with it this time around, I'll be able to think of like a storyline that involves a pet. But that would be what would always happen is after like I gotten the pet all their skills and everything, then not I would feel like there wasn't that much more to do with them. Um, but it could be totally different for The Sims 4, and I'm certainly not knocking pets. I am looking forward to getting pets and to seeing. I think, if nothing else, for me, like having animals around the world just really adds to the world. And so, just in that sense, I'm looking forward to having them in the game, just to be able to see, animals out and about in the neighborhood and things like that. So yeah, that I am looking forward to pets, and in case you didn't know, that is one of the rumors that going around that was found in the game files. Um, to be fair about the whole vampire thing, though, I had just seen that they had found it in the game files, and then I recorded that video where I said that, and then maybe even like later that day, not that long after, I saw the animations for the vampires. I can't remember whose video it was, but they had actually like shown the Sims like doing the animation, and then I was at that point then I was like, well, maybe we are getting vampires, but I don't know if I ever mentioned it. I don't know. But yeah, so this is the room I imagine being like the kids coming to visit room. So there would be, some toys and games and some stuff for them to have fun. Um, and I actually used one of the little, flaws things, like the cracks and everything from the vampire pack. I used that in that one spot. Just a little hint of some age in the house, but nothing too overwhelming or anything like that. But yeah, I think overall this house turned out pretty cute, and I liked it okay. Um, but you guys feel free to give me your feedback and everything in the comments. Oh, this reminds me. Well, no, it didn't remind me, but I just thought of it. Um, for those of you, and I'll be talking about this in my Let's Play when it's a little bit more relevant, but I did set up a Tumblr for the custom content that I use on my Sims. And so there will be a link in the description box below. So I spent like a good amount of time going through my custom content, finding it on Tumblr and reblogging it. So just about anything you see any of my Sims wearing should be able to be found on my Tumblr, with, uh, like the Tumblr post, the original Tumblr post will have like, a link to where you can download it really easily. So you should be able to find any custom content that you see pretty quickly and easily. And if you have a Tumblr, you can go follow me on Tumblr if you're interested in the custom content that I use in my games. I primarily just go for Maxis Match stuff. I I don't mind non-Maxis Match, but it's just my preference as to what I like as opposed to like the alpha hairs and things like that. Just not my cup of tea personally, but I prefer the Maxis Match. But if you do too, then you can take a look at my Tumblr for just some of the stuff that I found. And I've also been like kind of adding things that I see for download later, like maybe like while I'm at work or I don't have time. So not everything you see there is going to be stuff that I've used yet, but it's still worth checking out in my opinion. So we're just about ready to be coming up on the screenshots, the end of the video here. I hope that you guys like this one, and like I said, if you have any comments, suggestions, or feedback, please don't hesitate to leave those below. And here's a shot of the exterior of the house, and this is the interior foyer area coming in and the living room area. Really cluttered. A little bit mismatched. I kind of like that. This is the kitchen, another shot of the kitchen as well here, where you can see where the cooking goes down. This is the bathroom that's just off the kitchen. This is the study room, and then we also have another shot of the study room here with the easel. And we also have the master bedroom, which I think turned out really like cute and kind of pretty. And another shot of the master here. Then we have the ensuite bathroom. It's just like a little teeny room, and the sort of kids visitors guest bedroom. So thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to check out my Tumblr, and bye.